to DQP Does, the Drafty Quarters Podcast Network movie review show where we shit on Star Wars most of the time, but maybe not tonight. With me is my co-host Nathan.
What's up?
Producer Russell.
Yo, yo, yo.
And a special guest, Chad.
Hey, guys.
All right. Tonight we're going to go over Episode 9, the epic conclusion to the Star Wars Saga. The 9 fucking episodes that we've been going over for the last 2 months. First, we're going to talk to Chad a little bit about his Star Wars experience, where he got started, everything that he's watched, so on and so forth, opinions on the newest trilogy. So let's get into that. Yeah,
just all of it.
Just
man.
Fucking throw it all out there, man.
All right, long-time listener, first-time caller. When I was a kid, I'm just going to go all the way back. I am 38 years young, but my parents bought me, I was really little, they actually got me an Ewok village.
That's dope.
It was Easter or Christmas or one of those. And that kind of got me hooked, because back in the 80s, you couldn't just go rent Star Wars.
Right.
So I didn't get a lot of the movies when they first came out. And then I was probably 5 or 6. I have a Return of the Jedi tin.
Mm-hmm.
And my grandma got it at a yard sale for $1. And you open that bad boy up, and it's actually got figures from 77, 80, and 83.
Oh, shit.
So I know they're not in the package, but they have to be worth a crazy amount of money.
Yeah.
And I just, as my childhood progressed, I was so obsessed with Star Wars. And I really, at first, hadn't even seen the movies.
Wow.
So
you started with toys.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I got the toys and had no clue, Ewoks, are these guys cool?
No.
Spoiler alert, they are.
Oh, no. I mean, when you're a kid, hell yeah, they're awesome when you're a kid.
Yeah, when you're 6, nothing is cooler than furry little Ewoks.
Yeah.
Taking down the Empire. But yeah, so I was obsessed with the toys. I had all of them, and I remember my next door neighbor, he had all G.I. Joes, and back then, dude, those things were $10 a piece. We couldn't afford those.
Yeah.
And you look at the little 4-inch Star Wars, they just
don't do anything.
They don't do anything. And I remember thinking, I want a G.I. Joe.
Uh-huh.
I didn't even get Transformers. I got they were bot lords or something. They were rock lords.
Rock lords.
Yeah.
Holy crap. I don't even know what those are.
Yeah. Google that. That's how sad my childhood was.
Yeah.
They were rocks that changed into people.
I remember GoBots, but I don't remember rock lords.
Yeah. Couldn't even get Transformers, so.
Ooh. Yeah, I had X-Men and G.I. Joes, but I mean, at that time, I think X-Men were $8. G.I. Joes were probably $5 to $6, something like that.
Yeah, and Turtles.
Oh, man.
We had Turtles.
Ninja
They were
Turtles.
$5.
Yeah.
They were dirt cheap. They were awesome. And He-Man.
I never had any He-Man toys, but I didn't really watch that. I watched X-Men and Ninja Turtles
that animated series is amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, it says right here, Rock Lords is a spin-off toy line to the GoBots from Tonka in
Oh, wow.
86.
So
After the movie GoBots Battle of the Rock Lords.
So they're sort of GoBots,
So
but
when
they
do
were
we
made
get
by
that?
Tonka.
Michael Bay remake.
Oh, boy.
I can't wait.
Who's
But-
the Kmart Michael Bay, though? Michael Bay?
Yeah.
Michael Bay with a pen name.
Anyway, back to your Star Wars experience.
So, then in high school, 1, 2, and 3 came out. Well, 1 came out when I was in high school, then I graduated, but those were different.
Yep.
I will stick up. I will stick up for 3. I genuinely liked 3
Yeah.
/ loved it. 1 was okay, and 2 I considered the worst.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like I will probably. I actually liked 8 better than 2.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
I kind of feel that way too. Because, like, I mean, 2 is just such garbage.
It has some of the best fight scenes in it, but some of them last 4 minutes, and now you have to talk about the Trade Federation for an hour and 15.
Yeah.
I feel.
Yeah.
just feel let down.
There was a lot wrong with that movie. Okay, so how did you feel about the new ones then? The first 2?
I actually loved 7. I do understand it's pretty much just a polished remake,
Yeah.
but I really, really enjoyed it. 8, I liked it, but I do understand there are some really rough parts. Like
Mhm.
the whole Finn Rose sideshow
Mhm.
doesn't need to exist.
Yeah.
Mary Poppins Leia. It really is rough when you see that.
Yeah.
It almost in the movie theater it felt cartoonish.
Yeah. Yep.
And I felt like Poe was trying too hard to be like the bad boy of the group. Does that make sense? Like
Yeah, I mean, they like put him in that role both with his actions and with everyone's reactions to what he was trying to do.
right,
So
but the Yoda being in the movie was like amazing.
that was like my favorite part of the whole movie,
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah. And so I don't hate 8. I definitely wouldn't like die on a hill for it,
Oh yeah.
but
Right.
I genuinely did love 7.
Okay.
I thought it was decent. My a lot of my friends didn't like it just because they were saying, and you guys can, I know you've already had this, but you
Yeah.
can agree or disagree. They were basically saying that Rey couldn't defeat Kylo at the end.
Right.
That was
Well, like my biggest problem with one of my biggest problems with 7 and 8 was like she didn't have any training. She just like all of a sudden just started shitting out force powers out of nowhere. And like not until this movie did we have any idea why.
right.
So like there was no training and or anything like that. And you know, like Luke was the son of Anakin. So similarly, he could have had a similar path through those movies, but he had to get at least like, you know, shown how to fucking use the force before he could do anything. And he never really got that powerful, you know, not nearly as powerful as the characters in these 3 movies,
Right.
you know? So that's kind of why I didn't like Rey a lot. It was because you know, she was overpowered for one, and 2, she had no reason to be overpowered until they told you who she was, and it was still overpowered, even at that point. So, I mean, that's kind of how I felt about 7 and 8. I mean, there were other problems with 8, but 7 was basically, you know, it was A New Hope, and Rey was ridiculous.
Gotcha. But
No.
Empire's still the
Used-
greatest.
What did I say?
Mary Sue,
Oh yeah, she was a Mary Sue. She was a Mary Sue.
which her name was Ray, so I don't
Yeah.
understand.
It's a term, but okay.
Mary
Oh.
Ray.
I don't understand your
Mary
terms.
Ray.
It just means she was just a plain Jane.
Is that what it was?
She was like a no-name character that
Yeah,
is a plot
nobody.
device.
She lived on Gilligan's Island.
Yeah.
Was hot for Professor. Is that what you're getting at?
Sure.
I feel like in the early part of 7, she was a little hot for Professor.
But yeah, I still stick up for Empire is the greatest. Then I would say Hope, A New Hope. I'd say
Okay.
it'd be 5, 4, and then I would honestly say 7, then Return.
Okay.
That would be
What
my-
about like Rogue One and stuff?
Oh shit.
No. Don't do that to somebody. Like,
It is a fair question.
It is a fair question, but I almost feel like we need to just focus on like the saga,
Yeah.
and because to me, Rogue One's probably the best Star Wars movie.
I make it number 2, but
Rogue One is amazing.
Yeah.
And I do have a confession. I actually didn't even go see Solo in theaters
Mm-hmm. I
because
didn't
at
either.
the time I was like, I already know what this movie is going to be like. And
Yeah.
then I saw it and I actually felt guilty because I was like, that movie was really good. At least
Yeah.
I did.
I didn't like it the first time. The second time I liked it a lot more. I still wasn't like sold on it, but I do kind of feel bad about not going to see it in the theaters. I mean, it's basically the same thing, like you're like, okay, it's the backstory of a character that we already know and love, but it's not the guy that we love playing him. I understand why it's not the guy that we love playing him because he's fucking 70 years old, but I still want to see like a movie from 1985 with fucking Harrison Ford playing young Han Solo. That would have been awesome.
I'll be completely honest. If they could have done what they did with Samuel L. Jackson and just made him look like it was night, I'd have been completely fine with Harrison Ford. Like, just put a wig on him. I'm okay with this.
They just mocap the whole thing.
Yeah.
He's so good.
Yeah.
I did think I thought the new I apologize, I don't know his name.
Nobody
don't remember
knows his
either.
name.
Nobody remembers.
Yeah. I have to have it IMDb open all the time, except for like Carrie Fisher and Hamill and stuff.
Right. But it was good.
Yeah.
I liked the movie. I was impressed. And I feel bad because I was like, ugh, I'll wait till it's on.
And it did terribly in theaters. And I feel like that's a lot of the reason.
It's our fault.
Well, it was like a lot of that, and then a lot of people that really didn't like 7, and they were like, you fuck everything else.
Right. I really genuinely believe that.
I feel like that's happened with all these movies as they've generally gone down as far as like they've risen in box office, but the general interest I feel like has gone down from the hardcore fans.
Yeah.
Because like they didn't like 7 and 8, and like 9 was really a course correction. And then like Rogue One did well, but it wasn't great. And then Solo did poorly in their eyes. I mean, I would love to make that much money, but I mean, it did poorly in their eyes.
Well, and I think it's for Solo, it's one of those movies where every Star Wars fan was like, could we have gotten anything else?
Yeah.
A bounty hunter movie. Obviously, we have The Mandalorian
now.
But
because what was that, 2017? Something like that?
2018.
Was it really?
I don't know.
Hold on, I'll tell you. Yeah, 2018.
Okay.
Because we had one every year, but the side movies were
in the in-between years.
In the in-betweens. And the guy that plays Solo, his name is Alden Ehrenreich.
Well, you did well.
I tried.
Ehrenreich.
But yeah, I think as Star Wars fans, we want something, a Revan movie or.
Oh yeah. I mean, everybody's
played by
going
Keanu
crazy
Reeves.
about that stuff right now. But all right.
Okay.
So we've gotten your thoughts about a lot of the stuff. So we're gonna go into this movie, so we can get this out of the way. So let's just go over the cast real quick. We have Carrie Fisher, where they used archived footage to put together her parts and like a healthy dose of CG. I noticed.
Yep, all of her scenes were from the Force Awakens shootings.
Yeah. Hamill returning as dead Skywalker. Adam Driver, Daisy Ridley, John Boyega, Oscar Isaac, Anthony Daniels, Naomi Ackie was Janna, Domhnall Gleeson as Hux, Richard E. Grant as General Pride, which I don't know if he was in another episode before that, because he talks about being like a OG Empire guy.
Yeah.
Lupita Nyong'o is Maz. I don't think anybody else really. I mean, Kelly Tran is Rose. Ian McDermott is Palpatine. Billy D. Williams. Greg Grunberg died. Not in real life, in the movie. Oh, Shirley Henderson was Babu Freak. That guy cracked me up. That's pretty much it. Why are there two? There's 2 credits for BB-8 and for R2-D2 and for DO.
2 different ones?
Mm-hmm. Hassan Taj and Lee Towersey for R2-D2, Brian Herring and Dave Chapman for BB-8, Robin Guyver and Lynn Robertson Bruce for Dio. And J.J. Abrams for the voice of Dio. So 3. It must have had like multiple remote control people or something.
That would be my guess.
Whoa, Maz had 3. Like mocap or something? I don't know. Anyway, so I mean, we had pretty much a large returning cast. The only really important new characters, and I don't know if General Pride is actually new, but he seemed like he was new.
That actor is Richard Grant, is not in any of the other episodes.
Okay. So yeah, he's new. General Pride and Janna were pretty much the only really important new characters. Dio had some information, and Freak was a important part, but it was only a short bit. Oh, what was the one chick that damn it, that was on the like Zori Bliss? Is that Kerry Russell?
Yeah, Zori was Kerry Russell.
Okay. That was another important character. I forgot about her. But yeah, so I mean, for the most part, I felt like the cast was still solid. There wasn't really any like huge acting issues that I saw in the movie.
Yeah. So I actually thought, in 7 and 8, I didn't always believe Daisy as Rey.
Okay.
And like she did well, but in 7 and 8, I thought that Adam Driver had a standout performance in each movie,
Mm-hmm.
mostly due to him being an amazing actor, but also just due to the cast not living up to the same standard. And then in this one with 9, I felt that Daisy actually really showed up.
Yeah.
Because I thought her performance was on par with Adam this time. So I thought it was a pretty big step up in her game, which, I mean, she's got a lot more experience under her belt now than she did for the other 2 movies.
I liked her before. I mean, I think she did do better in this movie than she did in the previous 2.
Yeah, I've liked her every step
her.
of the way. But this one, I was pretty much set aside by her performance. I thought it was top tier.
Okay.
Well, I like Adam Driver in all these movies.
Mhm.
And I like the scene with Han, like on the old Death Star.
Yeah.
It almost got me. Like,
Oh yeah.
I don't know why. I went and seen Endgame with you guys.
Mm-hmm.
And I sat there like a rock the whole time. I'm more emotionally invested in the Marvel movies than the Star Wars movies.
Oh yeah.
And that shit was rough. Like, I got choked up.
Oh.
And I don't know why. Like, it was
Just hit
so
you.
good. Maybe that's why, to me.
I don't know. It didn't hit me like that, but I get it.
Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah. It's just weird. I don't know why. I was just like, God damn, it was so good. The whole movie was a ride. Like, from the beginning, like, it just takes you on this wonderful ride of action and constant.
Yeah.
So, like, I was like, I really like this one.
I wish we would have not known that Palpatine was in. Like, everybody knew.
Yeah.
That would have been like.
You had the feeling, though.
Yeah, but I feel like they wasted that. Like, he shouldn't have been at Comic-Con. He shouldn't have been on IMDb. Like, none of that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that first trailer. The first trailer, they blew it up.
Yeah.
The very first trailer, it's got fucking Palpatine laughing at the end, and you're like, come on. Like, that would have been a great reveal. I mean, it's right at the beginning of the movie, but like still, it would have been like he shows up and talks to him, and you're like, what the fuck? Palpatine's alive? What the hell's going on here?
I think they had to though, because if you look at like how divisive 8 was and the fallout from 8, and then look at how bad Solo did, I bet there would have been a lot of people not go watch it. And so I think Palpatine being in the trailer,
So they were
like,
hedging your
knowing-
bets.
Yeah, like it was like, okay, all you old fuckers that like have been talking shit, like we're gonna give
Here
you
you
this.
go.
Yeah.
Okay, boomer.
Yeah. So I don't know that they could have gotten away with it as much as I would have also liked to have been surprised.
Yeah.
But then I could have seen the cells. I bet they
Yeah.
were worried about cells.
I just, I
Not
don't
like
know.
they didn't do
I
8
hate-
other billion-dollar movies this year.
I hate when there's like supposed to be a surprise in a movie and it's ruined in a trailer. Because like if you go out and you read articles and stuff, then and you like look it up on IMDb, then okay, that's your own
Yeah.
fault.
Right.
But like everybody's gonna at least watch the first trailer, you know, and then you ruin a huge plot point in the first trailer, and it's like, come on, bro, come on.
Yeah,
just-
because they, even if they wouldn't have told us he was in it, they could have changed that opening scene where Adam Driver was leaving Exegol and still not seen Palpatine. And then he's like, keeps talking about having to like do something for someone. And then we get halfway through the movie before we see Palpatine again. So then like we still get like the big reveal in the middle instead of at the beginning.
I mean, even if it was at the beginning still, you know, and he's talking to him in all the other voices instead of Palpatine's voice when he comes in.
Yeah.
If he's talking to him in all the other, I've been the voice in your head the whole time, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah. And he like goes through like 4 different voices. And then like
You turn the corner.
You turn the corner and like the little arm comes down with him on the end of it. And you're like, oh, fuck.
I
Yeah,
really
that'd been
enjoyed
cool.
that. Gosh,
Yeah.
that was so great.
It was
I-
creepy as shit. Like just his appearance and like him being hooked up to the big like fucking scorpion arm thing and
She's
shit.
Yeah.
like missing fingers. And,
Yeah.
Oh, so good.
Yeah. was
Yeah, it had
fantastic.
me since like in the beginning, like as dark as the opening was, I was like, okay, I'm fucking in.
Yeah.
I do feel like they phoned it in on the opening scroll, because it's like
That
a
was
paragraph
garbage.
and a half, and it was what was said in the trailer,
Yeah.
and I was just like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah, the scrolls in these 3 versus the original trilogy, and even I like the ones in the prequels. The ones in
Yeah.
the prequels actually had a bunch of exposition in it that they didn't really like. It happens in the movie, but like they don't go and explain all of it. It's like actually telling you what happened in between the movies
Yeah,
in the prequels. It's or
Right.
like before the movie, because like Phantom Menace, they're like, oh, there's a argument with the Trade Federation and this and blah blah blah, and they've sent the Jedi to go talk to him, and like you don't see that. That's actually telling you the setup for the movie. Whereas like this one, especially this one, is like talks about the first half of the movie, and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
yeah,
Because like it talks about the message that the Emperor sends out, and that doesn't happen until like what 30-40 minutes into the movie or more. And like that's not how any of the other scrolls have been. And the scrolls on the last 2 movies weren't great, but at least they weren't like talking about the movie you're about to watch. They're like talking about setting up the movie you're about to watch. So like I agree, the scroll on this one was garbage,
yeah.
but the movie was way better. Let's talk about the one thing that I didn't like, unfortunately, about this movie, and that was all the Leia stuff. I know Carrie Fisher is gone, and they put her in a position to be very important in this movie, which is unfortunate because I really like Leia and I really like Carrie Fisher, but it was super weird and awkward, and not all the shots were good, and all the CG that they did to like make her do things that she didn't do in the actual shots they were using looked bad.
Yeah.
And it's really unfortunate, but it did take me out of the movie when she was in it.
It took me out of the movie for a minute, but I really, really appreciated the part where she like said Ben's name.
Oh
and that
yeah,
got his attention.
yeah,
But every other part,
yeah,
it really felt like I was watching a VHS movie on a DVD, if that makes sense. Like those parts felt cut in,
Yeah.
and I was like the acting, it wasn't bad. It was just that
it just looked
she
bad.
was just doing those lines for some other scene.
Yeah.
And then all of a
feel
sudden,
right.
it did not feel right at all.
Yeah, it didn't feel organic.
There was strong uncanny valley going on in that, and it's unfortunate. But I mean, that's what happens when they have somebody in a movie and they've already passed away. They can't reshoot anything.
The thing is, though, she passed away in 8, and after you know, they
right
had already.
Yeah, they hadn't shot anything in the movie.
I felt like 8 they should have rewound some stuff, did a few things, and instead of Hulda taking that ship through the other ship, it should have been Carrie Fisher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I said that when 8 came out and she had just died, and I watched the movie and I was like, how did they not do reshoots on this?
I feel like that would have been, I don't know, even having her say something like close her eyes and like talk to Luke for a second, or having a couple voiceovers, or you know, just be like, that would have been amazing.
Yeah.
Because that scene is amazing. I'm sorry, we're talking about 8 now. How did that happen?
I agree. That was like my second favorite scene, is when she does the light speed through the
and after
blockade
that
thing.
Yeah, does the light speed, and there's 8 seconds of pure silence.
Yeah.
Like, that was so amazing.
Yeah.
And I felt like they wasted it on a brand new character.
Mm-hmm.
Where Leia should have been like, Hulda, you're in charge now. Go on.
Right.
Boom, now she's in 9.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd have been fine with that.
Yep.
Because I felt like, but on the other side, I felt like they wasted Leia's death, but it was really good in 9 what we got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's obviously not what they wanted to do, but I mean, that's all they could do.
Yeah.
And it worked out as well as it could have, but it still was probably like the low light of the movie.
Seeing what we've seen now, would you prefer almost like what they did with Grand Moff Tarkin? Or do you say they had to do...
Well, I mean, they did it with her too, in the same movie.
Right, with
at the end, but yeah, probably, because it would have looked better. I mean, the only problem would be like getting somebody to sound like her, especially when we have 2 movies right before it, where, like, you know, with Tarkin, you know, Cushing's been dead for a while.
Yeah.
And those movies came out, well, he was only in A New Hope. So, like, that was 77, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, you don't have a great frame of reference. Whereas with Carrie, if they had done that and she had more stuff, but they had to, like, either cut together her vocal performance from other stuff, and that would have been weird too. Not to mention extremely difficult. Or have a sound alike. We would have had, like, such a good frame of reference for it to, like, sound bad.
Yeah.
You know? So I'm sure they had meetings upon meetings about trying to figure out how to do this, but I mean, either way, you would have had people that didn't like it. So,
right, yeah, you can't win.
No, you can't. Yeah.
We're really picky.
I am.
We know.
But I feel like, I mean, unfortunately, I think that was the worst part of the movie. The rest of the movie, I think, was really good. You know, I mean, I didn't see a whole lot of effects that I had problems with, whereas, like, in 8, there was, like, a whole section, the casino part looked like ass. The whole part. That, like, 20-minute part of the movie looked like shit. And then this one, it was beautiful.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a wrap.
All right, well then I'll bitch about something.
Yeah, let's do it. Get something and see if, like, I just forgot something, because, like, I've only watched it the one time, so
Luke interacting with stuff
Oh, we
and
talked
like
about this.
touching matter as a Force ghost, I do not like. Because then it's just kind of like, well, why don't all the Force ghosts come back and like fuck Palpatine and do like shit instead of just sitting off to the side staring at people? Like I don't like he catches the lightsaber. So Rey goes to throw the lightsaber into Kylo's ship that she just blew up, and has stranded herself on the island that Luke was training her on.
Well, that was what she was trying to do.
That was what she was trying to do.
Yeah.
And so she throws the lightsaber and Luke catches it. And this makes for like a good scene, and I get that, but you've also like you've just like created a precedence that didn't exist before this movie, where like now the Force ghosts can interact with stuff.
But in the previous movie, Yoda blew the tree up with lightning.
Yeah, which I can see being a little bit different because he's like creating some sort of natural element.
He's still
or,
interacting with the physical world. Though.
Using some sort of natural element. But I don't like that either. Like they just shouldn't be able to interact with stuff.
Let's talk about this though, okay?
Mm-hmm.
In the 1980s, early 90s, there was a Force ghost in a movie that wasn't Star Wars. His name was Patrick Swayze. And in Ghost, he could interact with objects. In Ghost, he could interact with objects. I feel like that's what I saw when I seen Luke catch that. He wasn't really
Swayze'd
catching.
that bitch.
He Swayze'd it.
He did Swayze it.
He Swayze'd it like Demi Moore got
I don't know what's
Swayze'd.
happening.
Okay? I just like bringing shit up
So-
and doing this.
So actually, Swayze would be like a Sith ghost because
Why was he a Sith?
Because he used anger and emotion to manipulate the
He was
physical
trained by the Subway Sith Lord.
world. Yeah, I know.
In that
But I'm
movie.
telling you, that's he was basically a Sith
So-
ghost. But
There's going to be Star Wars nerds that are going to be pissed.
so here's my argument.
He eventually seen the light, though.
Yeah, he did.
Just going to put that
Yeah,
out there.
he had his redemption at the end of the movie. They're force beings, and you can use the force to manipulate the physical world. The end.
Yeah, but it
I mean,
makes yes, and I get that, but it also like it creates this huge hole where like, okay, this ultimate evil is about to devour the entire universe, like come stop it.
Yeah.
Instead of putting it in the hands of kids.
Okay, so the Luke in particular, who the previous movie was talking about how the Jedi Order was wrong in pretty much everything, is the one that interacts with reality to direct his pupil in the right direction. All right. Now, where other Jedi like to talk in riddles or just talk to people and give them ideas of where they should go and what they should do instead of directly interacting with the physical world. Plus, there's only like a half a dozen guys that have figured out how to do it at this point. Because Qui-Gon was the first one. I mean, we do.
Force Ghost thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Qui-Gon was the first one. So we got Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan, Yoda, Luke, Anakin.
Mace.
We never see Mace.
I mean,
we just hear.
He talks to Rey.
Yeah, we hear like a 25 or 30 fucking Jedi at that time. We never see him. I'm talking about physical manifestation, full-on ghosts.
Okay.
So we got 5. That's all I remember. The other 4 are definitely guys that would rather tell you to think upon it and be like, maybe you should make up your own mind, but this is what I think. Whereas Luke's like, hey, slap you in the back of the head, motherfucker. Let's do this. So he interacts with the physical world because they all can, but the other ones philosophically will not.
But Yoda does.
Well,
he smacks Luke in the
because
face.
Because he fucking smacks Luke around.
Yeah.
But he's like the only one that he
He's
smacks
like,
around. Stop it now.
Seagulls. But no, he does. Because Jesse sent that video that we watched. That music video. And he
An
like,
8,
hit him.
he hit him with the stick?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
He was
Okay.
sitting
He
there
sits
after the
next to
tree was
him.
blown up.
I
And he
missed
was
you,
like-
friend.
And he was
Huh.
like, bonk. Yeah. So,
Mm.
I mean, what I get what you're saying. All those little things are fine. But raising the X-Wing up was too much.
Well,
They
so,
missed a point there. And I know
Yeah.
you were going to talk about that because we talked about it after the movie.
yeah,
Or
that
during the movie.
that
maybe.
would have been a great point for Rey in progressing her story, is if she would have raised the X-Wing instead, because Luke had to raise it. So, like, she should have to raise it.
But also, prior to that point, she didn't need to raise no fucking ship out no water because she stopped one from flying off and then got excited and shot lightning
Yeah,
at it
and
and
blew
thought
it
she
up.
killed Chewbacca.
That's
So, I
also
mean,
true.
raising an X-Wing was no,
Yeah.
like, it was like, well, whatever. That's like tying my shoes at this point.
Right. So I guess like the Force ghosts being able to interact with the material plane is my same question is, you know, if God could interact with the material plane, why not interfere? So the answer should be that they can't interact with the material plane, and that's how I feel about it.
Well, I mean, don't bring that into it because that's a whole nother conversation.
I just did.
But it's the same. It's the same answer because they're philosophically against interaction at this point in history.
Yeah. This is the dumbest
Drafty quarters.
thing.
Church service. Sundays at 9.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Bible study.
Oh no. Oh no.
I'm busy. Sinners.
But yeah, I mean,
Yep.
ultimately, that's why I don't like the interaction with the Force Ghosts being able to interact with stuff.
I mean, I answered all your qualms with it, but
I mean, I still don't think that you did.
I did.
That's your justification for it.
I was okay with it.
That's
If it matters.
it does.
It
I mean,
does.
that's why you're here,
Aw.
to give your opinions on
You
things.
guys are so sweet.
I had a problem with the movie.
All right,
What's your
let's do
problem?
it.
Not enough Lando.
Okay.
I wanted more Lando. I was so happy he was in the movie.
I feel like they might have set up another Lando thing. but
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know what they're doing. Here's what pissed me off, okay? I feel like they're like, all right, we're going to kill Han in 7. But we still got Carrie Fisher and, you know, Mark Hamill. And then the next one, they're like, we're going to kill Mark Hamill, but we still got Carrie. Fuck. Whoop.
Whoop.
What's Billy D. Williams doing?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? He should have been in, I should have been in 8. They should have showed him showing up
Yeah.
when they sent that signal out to the Outer Rim in 8. I don't mind how they introduced him, but don't act like he wasn't an integral part of the first trilogy. Like, he's still Lando. Like, and then the only other time they used him was in Solo, which was great. Like,
Yeah.
Donald Glover did a great job. But I wanted more Lando.
Mhm.
Lando
So-
doesn't get enough props. And I wanted more Lando and Chewie like interaction. I don't know. It was the only thing that the movie lacked to me, which could be a deleted scene for all I know.
You're gonna get like a 3.5 hour director's cut when it comes out on.
I mean,
On
how
demand.
long was the movie? 2 hours and 22 minutes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So initially, it was supposed to be 3.5 hours. Like JJ said, it's going to be 3.5 hours, and I really feel like they could have given us a 3.5 hour movie. But so Lando had actually mentioned in or
Billy
not
D.
Lando,
Williams.
Billy D. Williams had actually mentioned in an interview how no one called him for 7 or 8, and he was sad about it. So I think all of his emotes, all of his expressions in the movie are genuine because they
He's
finally called him. to
So
come do the
fucking
movie.
happy. to be
Yeah.
Sitting at the bridge of the Millennium Falcon again.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck yeah.
I mean, I enjoyed
Good
it
times.
because who blew up the second Death Star?
Yep.
Come on.
Yeah.
Not going to give him any props. It's bullshit.
Well.
I mean, it may have been under construction, but still.
But
Still.
okay, so let's talk a little bit about Janna because they kind of made this thing where she's like, oh yeah, we were kidnapped as children and conscripted into the Empire or into the First Order, and blah blah blah. We defected, and that's where I came from. I don't know who my parents are. And Lando's like, well, why don't we find out about that? But what they don't tell you is that Lando's 2-year-old daughter was kidnapped by the First Order, and she is approximately the correct age to have been his daughter.
Oh, shit.
Is that in the Lando comics?
I believe it's in the new like encyclopedia of like glossary of shit.
Because he got his own comic.
Yeah, Marvel comic a couple of years ago. Yeah, I haven't read any of those, but I'm pretty sure that was actually in this book, and it doesn't say that she's his daughter, but it's like, well, she was 2 at this date when she was lost, and this lady's about 20, 18 years later when he meets her. Yeah. But they like set up like a pilot like right there in the middle at the end of this movie. But I mean, Billy D. Williams is like 74 years old or something.
Even if they gave him like a 4-part miniseries on Disney
Fuck
Plus,
it, I'm okay with it. That's what I
absolutely
want.
Watch
we
that.
want Lando.
Yeah, I want it.
Yeah.
I'm like, that sounds dope. Let's do it. It was like I that was the first thing I thought when he was like, huh, because like Lando's a scoundrel. I didn't know that he actually had kids,
Yeah.
So I was watching the movie, and she's like, yeah, I don't know who my parents are. And he's like, let's find out. I was like, are you her dad? What are we doing? And then we were sitting at B-Dubs after we watched the movie, and I was like reading a bunch of articles and stuff, and I was like, what the fuck? He might be her dad. But I thought that was super interesting. There was like a bunch of little stuff in this, and that's something that we've talked about before. Is characters where you don't get their whole backstory, and they're like they make the universe feel bigger, and then they also can tie into other stuff, and I think that's something that they did really well since the beginning in episode 4. And I know there are some people bitching about this with the Marvel stuff because there's 2 or 3 shows that are going to tie into the next Marvel movie. And people are like, I don't want to watch 3 shows to have to understand this movie. Like, fuck you. Go watch this shit.
We want to.
Yeah, I want to watch. I want to have to like read 3 books and watch 4 TV series to watch 3 other movies and to understand everything. Like, I enjoy being able to watch a movie and like the general plot and the characters like make sense in the movie, but like to get all the references and be like, oh, well, they said they were on this planet, but I don't, what does that matter? Well, the 3rd book of this series, this character's origin was on that planet. That shit like makes my nerd dick hard.
Right.
I've
seen it.
Hard.
I mean, if they're half as good as The Mandalorian, like...
Yeah.
Half as good.
Yeah.
We would be stoked.
We're still going to be excited, because The Mandalorian, like Disney Plus proved, we can put out original content people want.
Yeah, they just need to put something else out right now because, like,
you're starting to lose.
They're losing subscribers because it was like you have this one new original thing that is this good. Nothing else on here is this good.
I don't think that's actually true because
they have other original
Lady and
content.
the Tramp was, I believe that was an original content, like the new movie
it was
they did.
Yeah.
So they have some stuff on there.
They have other new original content.
Netflix is still beating your ass.
Yeah, no one else
telling you.
No one cares about any of that other original content.
We need more shit.
Yeah, they want like 4 seasons of Mandalorian.
They should have put out some Marvel stuff at launch too. Or to put right behind it, they should have put out
just
fucking
like
Falcon and Winter
series.
Soldier, and then you'd have had it.
The last day of Mandalorian should have been the week before the first day of another series.
Exactly.
I think Clone Wars is coming. It's February, I think. You can check me on that.
But I mean, they're going to lose a bunch. It's a month.
It's a month. You're like, I'm going to save $7.
Yeah, YouTube
There's
or
people
YouTube.
that are doing
I don't
it.
know why I said that. Like Netflix isn't. They're just like, hey, the 20th of December you're getting this, and the 26th of December you're getting this.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, they just pop shit out, but they're so established. Like, I mean,
Well,
we
they-
saw
they-
it. We talked about it on the show when Disney Plus came out. Like, it wasn't as good a platform yet, you know, and it's still a little
they
bit
set
lacking.
the standard. Like Netflix has set the standard. They're
Yeah.
above Amazon. They're
Yeah.
above Hulu.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, their infrastructure is so good. You know, it almost never fucks up. It almost never fucks up. It does so many little convenient things that you don't even
saving
notice.
your place,
Yeah.
allowing you to download episodes,
Yeah.
like
Putting
Lifesaver
shit in
at
the
work.
right fucking order when you put it on your service.
Well, you know,
You know, separating things into seasons. Spider-Man is still one 65 episode season. What the fuck, Disney Plus? Fix it, please. I mean,
As of December 20th, 2019, Netflix lost over 1 million subscribers to Disney Plus.
yeah,
But they'll have them back in another month.
Yep.
yeah,
I mean, really. Now,
I was looking for more concurrent
Hmm.
data, but there isn't any.
Disney Plus, you do have I have 2 kids.
yeah.
They're eating that shit.
Oh
up.
yeah,
dude, my daughter loves it. Yeah,
Yeah.
No.
she loves the National Geographic stuff. She's all about it. But
So,
your platform isn't supported on her Vizio TV. I'm not going to go out and buy a Chromecast or another fucking Fire Stick. Like, make it like you can get Netflix on a fucking Apple Watch, probably. Like, you can get it on damn near anything.
yeah.
You can get it on a piece of shit Android tablet that you could buy for $24 at Walmart. Like, what's your fucking excuse, Disney?
yeah,
Like, that's the only thing that irritates me.
yeah. I agree with that. Like, it works great on all my devices, but I also have like new devices,
Yeah.
like brand spanking new shit.
Well, and it's not
So,
even that. Like, it's just supported on certain things.
Yeah,
Like,
Right.
it's not supported on Vizio for some fucking
at all.
reason.
Like
No.
even like a brand spanking new
Nope.
2019 Vizio,
Nope. Like Samsung, LG. What you got? A Hisense? Is that what you said?
Hisense.
Hisense. I mean,
But
maybe
it's-
that's a newer name.
It's
I
a
don't know.
Roku TV though.
Well, that's why.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
'Cause
got a
the
Roku, in it.
operating system,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So
$325 at Walmart for a 55-inch 4K TV.
Nice.
Yeah,
Now in 9, I want your opinions on this.
let's do it.
I thought the comedy parts of the movie were
Mhm.
actually well placed,
Yes,
and they weren't overdone.
like Marvel movies.
No, actually, I'm okay with Marvel being a little overdone because it's certain characters. Like I always felt like Thor could be funny,
yeah,
but it was more funny situational. Like,
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm in this new world.
yeah. So like I mean, not to start talking about Marvel movies, but I specifically like Thor 1 versus Ragnarok. Like Thor 1, I thought was very well done on the humor,
Yes.
and then Ragnarok was just like overdone.
Everyone's
Well,
a comedian.
they were trying to be Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah,
Now,
exactly.
I loved Ragnarok, but they were trying
Yeah,
to be
yeah,
Guardians.
I mean, it's a
But-
fun movie.
I loved C-3PO.
Yes,
I thought
fantastic.
he was not trying to be funny, which made it great.
Yeah,
And then at the end of the movie, when Poe gives that chick, and I can't remember her
yeah.
name, he's like, across the way, he's like,
He's
"Hey,
like, "What's up?"
what's up?" And she's like, no.
Nope.
That was perfect. It was just enough comedy. I thought
Zori.
yeah.
Dude, him and Finn like had that shit going on the whole time. There was a hot minute I was like, is Disney going to be really edgy and just have them
They're
just
gonna
full
kiss.
on to go at it?
No, there was a lesbian kiss in the background.
Yeah.
though.
I seen that and I was like, all right, good job, Disney. Like, you know,
Yeah.
It's 2019.
that's awesome.
Step-
You know,
step
we need
up.
to do that.
Yeah,
But
and
like for a
everyone
minute,
was mad that Poe and Finn didn't hook up.
See, I think everybody
I
would have
think
been
people
pissed.
would have been. You think they'd have been pissed if they did?
So
Yes,
Really?
I
there
really
was-
do.
There was a lot of shipping going on for Poe and Finn,
Yeah.
and that includes Poe and Finn. Poe and Finn actually wanted them to write them
Oh
as
shit,
gay
really?
characters,
yeah,
and
but like
Disney
Finn-
would not do it.
Finn through the first two movies is totally like hardcore into
Ray.
Yeah, and they never go into what he wanted to say to Ray. They
I love
never
that.
bring it up.
I love that.
Yeah.
Because
I fucking hate it. I
here's-
hate unanswered
You
stuff.
can make
I mean,
people happy on both ends because most people are going to be like, he's going to tell Ray he loves her. But on the other side, you can have other people be like, he could be like, Ray, I'm gay and I love Poe.
Or third side,
Nobody
Hey,
was
Ray.
thinking that though.
I'm force sensitive. Train me as a Jedi because he totally is. They don't ever like do it or say it, but like there's like 3 times where he's like, I just know.
Yeah.
I just know that this is what
How do you know that that's the ship?
I know that they're alive, or I know that that's the ship that we need to be on.
I don't know. I really
Maybe,
like that
maybe.
he kept bringing it up. And then even like Poe's like, are we going to talk about this?
Yeah.
So what happened was this Palpatine manipulated the midichlorians and Finn's mom to create.
There's another one, son of a
he did
bitch.
it again. So you mentioned earlier about reading the comics. Did you read the Vader comics and get that far about the manipulation of midichlorians and
I haven't got that far.
Okay.
But I have them.
not to spoil it?
Not to be a
But-
super nerd, but I get the comics and then they go in a bag and a board and then they go
Good
in my
boy.
closet
Good
in the
boy.
dark.
So you don't read them?
I wait till the trades come out and then I buy. I have a problem. Okay.
No, I'm not saying you have
He's
a
a
problem. You have
collector.
solution, if
Yeah.
He's a
anything.
collector.
No, I got it on Amazon because Amazon Prime, you can check stuff out
Yeah.
through books, and I just checked out the whole thing and been slowly reading it.
Yeah. My prized possession. Not to brag.
Oh, here it is.
I miss you, Stan. I got to meet Stan Lee in like 2012-ish,
Mhm.
2000
Yeah.
Chicago Comic Con, and he autographed my Incredible Hulk 181. Now it's only like a 4 grading,
Yeah.
but getting to meet Stan
Yeah.
and like Wolverine is like my boy.
That was a high five.
Yeah, in case anybody was wondering, I fell off the chair. That was my boner.
Oh, you got to be careful because that chair will dump you forward.
Okay. Yeah, Wolverine's my boing. But
Yeah.
seriously,
Only the finest of office furniture here at Drafty Quarters Productions.
I love comics so much. But yeah, so I get all the Star Wars stuff. They're like $4.99 a piece.
Yep.
Whatever. Go in the closet and then I wait. Honestly, sometimes Amazon has the best deals on those things.
Oh,
They
on the
really do
trades,
on the
they do.
trades, yeah.
Yeah.
It was like the price of one of the books for a whole trade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At Barnes
It's
and
dumb.
Noble, it's like $29.99. No, I think I'll go down
I mean,
to Amazon.
I just bought the Walking Dead compendium, which is like $60 at retail. I got it for $40 on Amazon. Or no,
Yeah.
35 for this one. Like, because I collect the compendiums, and I'm not
Yeah.
gonna buy. I don't buy singles. Like,
I do the singles. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
I
Well-
still love the comic. The TV show is trash. There, I said it.
Thank you.
you're right.
But the comics, I love it. I get them.
I think I read the first compendium, but that was all I read.
The compendiums are. I mean, the comics are good, and like I said, I have 4 compendiums. Like
Yeah.
usually I get them and I speed through them. I haven't even really went through 4 yet, but
I
I
actually
digress.
met
from it.
Shane at Chicago Comic Con also.
Oh, yeah.
And
Is he a cooler Shane than our Shane?
oh, man, I can't. No way. Not even
Okay.
close. He's cool. He does.
I mean, Punisher, so yeah, he's cooler than I am.
He's cooler. He's a cooler John.
Yeah.
He was a douche as Shane. So.
Yes. Yeah.
But-
rapey.
I actually got the Walking Dead number. I believe he dies in 6. He dies real early in the
Yeah.
comics. In the show, they kept him on, which I actually thought was better. It made it a little better, but he actually autographed his grave, which was pretty
fucking
cool.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
I mean, by all accounts, John Bernthal's awesome.
Yes.
He's like a cool guy.
He actually
So-
rescues pit bulls. So, John, you're a solid dude.
There we go.
Anyways,
There's a
back to
open chair.
C3PO.
Open chair at the podcast table anytime John Bernthal wants to come on. I don't. That's never gonna happen. But
No. Super nice dude, though. But
anyway,
yeah, I liked-
C3PO.
I thought it was well placed, and I enjoyed the hell out of it. I genuinely like C3PO. He's just
Yeah.
I
well,
No. I don't.
I liked most of the C-3PO stuff. 2 other issues I had with the movie was that Chewie didn't actually die and C-3PO got his memory back. So, like, they were too afraid to take the risks.
I would have been okay if C-3PO hadn't got his memory back
Yeah.
and he would have had to rebuild it. Boom, Lando,
Yeah.
a mini
And-
series,
yeah,
and
and-
he's getting his memory back little
he's
by
like
little.
hanging out
That'd
with
have been
like it's like
good.
Lando, Janna, and C-3PO and R2.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that would have
would've
been.
Let's
cool.
do it.
Oh, dude, it would have been better if R2 would have backed him up, but the last backup R2 had was like fucking episode 5.
Yes.
Oof.
And
Yes.
like, what happened to Luke? Where's Leia? Is
Yeah.
Vader gonna get us? Like,
Yeah.
oh shit,
Yeah.
that would have been great.
Yeah, that's
Well,
But,
he's had his mind wiped before, and
No,
R2 didn't back him up.
Well, I think they both had their. No,
No,
just the
R2
protocol droid got wiped.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
I forgot.
Yeah, R2 always kept his memory, but he's always like tight-lipped and only like says what's important. He's just like walking around, and then he's like, "Hey, this thing," and people are like, "What the fuck do you know about that?"
But I preferred Sith C-3PO, like with
Oh,
the
yeah.
red
It's
eyes
like-
and talking in Sith.
Yeah,
I like if he would have just been
The blade
broken
is
and
the
only
answer.
been like that. That would have been great. I could have
yeah, that shit
dug
was
that.
cool.
yeah.
Okay, now I'm curious. How did you feel about Hux being the traitor?
I loved it because it totally played into how we felt about him just being Dwight. Right? Because he's like, I fucking told on him to the regional manager, and like he
Son
wouldn't
of a
fucking do
bitch.
anything about it. So then I went to the competitor and tried to sell all our fucking jobs to him, and then I got killed.
Yeah.
The fact that you
I
office
liked that.
referenced that made me love it even more. And I didn't even
liked
care until then. Damn it.
I liked the Hux stuff.
I thought it
Yeah.
showed, especially because in 7 and 8 he just hated him so much,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
he couldn't beat it. I mean, you can't. How are you
Right.
gonna beat a dude with a fucking lightsaber? He's
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna do it this way.
Right.
I didn't see it coming.
Aw.
So that was our Palpatine thing
Yeah.
for me. For
Yeah.
me,
right,
I was like,
yeah.
The
what?
twist.
I didn't see it coming either. I don't know. I was just like, how are they getting out of this situation?
Unfortunately, I'm the asshole that like reads everything. So like
I went in blank.
when the at the premiere, somebody put a whole list of spoilers on Reddit. So like before the movie was even public, it was like the week before, and I read that stuff, and I was like, oh, okay. I mean, yeah, I called that. Oh, that's new. Oh, that's funny. Called that, and all the rest of the stuff is weird. But we'll see how it goes in the movie.
Yeah.
So the
So-
Ray Palpatine thing didn't really affect you.
I mean, we called it like
Well, we talked about it
3
before,
episodes
yeah.
ago. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we basically called it, but like it was like I was happy about it because I was basically like, there's like 2 ways they can make this bitch make sense. And otherwise, she's just a garbage character that they've never explained why she's so powerful. And it doesn't make any sense. And it still is like a little bit too much, but like we talked about the dyad thing after we
I was gonna say
watched it.
her being a Palpatine is awesome, but I even furthermore liked that
The
they
dyad.
leaned into the dyad with
Yeah.
her and Kylo.
Because the dyad is basically like as balance. So as one rises, the other one has to rise at a similar to a similar power level. So just because Kylo was powerful, that meant Rey had to be powerful too, whether she was trained or not. So that made a lot of it like okay, whereas before it was just like, what the fuck is happening?
Right.
Well,
Well,
so I was happy about all that stuff.
I feel like 9 should have been 8. That would have been 9 should have been 8. Then we could have got something. I don't know. She's already
The
trained or
fallout of it.
Yeah, the cleanup. Because like, there's I don't remember what that was in. Where was the stuff about the huge battle that was on Jakku? What was that? Where did they talk about that? I don't remember. Because like, there's like a whole. This is the Return of the Jedi is not the final battle of the war with the Empire. the battle on Jakku is actually the final battle of the war with the Empire, and I don't remember what the fuck it's in, but there's like a bunch of Moffs and like generals and shit that just gather on Jakku, and then there's like a month-long battle in that like system, and that's why there's all those Star Destroyers and rebel ships and everything crashed on Jakku. But we could have had something like that.
Yeah.
Where, you know, there's all these like leaders, the generals and shit of that fleet. You know, some of that fleet might have got away from what the fuck's the name of the Sith planet?
Exegol.
Exegol.
Yeah, Exegol.
You know,
Cool
if
fucking name.
I can never remember it though.
yeah, Exxon. If like half of those guys had gotten away from Exxon,
Ex-Seagull.
Ex-Seagull. If half of those guys had gotten away, or a tenth of those guys had gotten away, you know, and you know, then they had to chase them and take them out, so that they didn't just have another First Order later. You know, that would have been interesting for another movie. And you know, whatever, if somebody else came along, or there was another Sith in hiding or some shit for Rey to fight, or if she's just going around fucking slicing stormtroopers in half. Yeah.
I really, dude, the end of the movie, like, you know, I'm gonna go bury these lightsabers on Tatooine
With the Force.
with the Force, yeah, and then I'm gonna, what's your name, Rey?
Everybody's obsessed with their last name.
Skywalker.
They're like, what's your last name?
Well, I mean, because Palpatine carries too much weight. Skywalker does too, but it's not
in the bad way.
In the bad way.
Yeah.
And then like she like shows her lightsaber, and it's yellow, and the whole time I want her to be a gray Jedi so bad, and I'll tell you why. Because if she's good, something has to rise up
to oppose her.
And
if
she's
she
gray,
is balance, then
there's nothing.
it's
that has to
balanced.
it's balanced, and it's
Yeah.
good. And she's the one to bring balance to the Force. Then, you know,
yeah.
essentially, that's what I wanted. Also, when she flies the X-wing and she's wearing the helmet, and I was like,
God.
motherfucking foreshadowing in 7. Like I like was sitting there and I was like, wait, she's wore that. Oh man, like in 7 when she was sitting there,
She's got the
eating her,
old
like,
rebel helmet on.
bread, you know. You got me.
Yep.
I didn't ever think about it until it happened.
Yeah,
But I don't predict shit like that. I'm sure Russell was like, I knew it.
No, I thought she was gonna fly the X-wing in 7. As if you know, when we did the podcast for 7, I was pissed off that she didn't.
Yeah, she
get in the X-wing to leave.
Yeah, we had this in both of the 7 and the 8 podcasts. We're like, they had this shit in the movie and they didn't fucking use it, and then they're like,
8,
well,
not 7.
we'll do it. We'll do it in 9.
Well, 7 it was
we'll
just
answer,
underwater.
Yeah.
Just chilled there.
Answer all the questions. We'll do all the stuff. We'll use all of the guns in 9 from 7 and 8. We'll fix everything.
I actually liked the ending, but just because I don't think there's no way to end it that would make everybody happy, or even half the people happy. But to have a movie go from 77 to 2019, I mean, that is amazing.
Oh yeah.
And to end it right where it started, like that tugged on my heart.
How
No,
I felt about that
absolutely.
part.
I will give you that.
More than the Han part. I liked the Han part.
Yeah.
I thought it was needed at that time, especially when he's like, you know, I don't know if I can do it, Dad. He's like, you can, you know.
Yeah, I don't know why that part hit me. There was another part of the movie that hit me weird too. And I was like, stupid feelings.
Gonna
I
bury
don't
these
have
deep
those.
down.
Afterwards, I cut wood to make myself feel better. That's a lie.
Grew a beard.
No, poof.
Yeah, I also like the way it ends, and I like that she takes the Skywalker name. Like, I don't feel there was no other name in the galaxy that was going to suit her.
I just want to know why everyone that walks up to her is like a fucking cop. They're like, ID, please. Where's your
I think
ID?
she was just a nice old lady.
You can't not tell me who you are. You have to tell me your full name right now. Where's your ID? I'm gonna take you to jail.
Yeah.
Everyone that like, talks to her. It doesn't
Yeah.
make any sense.
I'm with you. I
wish she
really
would've
liked
said-
it.
Ray Kenobi.
That would have been hilarious. I would have been like, what?
Just off the wall. And then they're like, where'd you come up with the name? She's like, I just made it up. No.
I felt it. I felt it in the force.
Ray 2D2.
No, fuck off.
Windu.
Ray 3P30. I can't say that one. That one's hard to say.
I love the movie. It was good.
It was good. All right. Do we want to get to ratings then? Guys?
Do we?
Yeah. All right.
Is
I'm going to
there
go
any
ahead.
other points anyone wants
Yeah.
to
Does
make?
anybody else want to make any points? That they-
Russell's been awful quiet.
Chewie
so-
got. I mean, yeah, I have like several things we can talk about. Chewie got his fucking medal,
oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
and that was the redeeming moment for me that I was okay with him still being alive. Not that I don't like Chewie, but as a plot device and as a piece of the story that would have really just like put a nail in the coffin for me would have been if Chewie wouldn't have survived when she blew the ship up.
Yeah. But if you wanted to cry, they could have had him die and
Put it
then
on his
put it on
casket.
his fucking
Oh my
gravestone.
gosh.
Fuck.
On his cairn. Because they would have had him
That's what they
just
should have
like
done.
just make a cairn because there was no body to bury because he was in an exploding ship.
That would have been fucking intense. I like I like feeling feelings. Movies make me feel feelings. So like when there's an opportunity that they miss like that really would have just like, I don't know, demolished me as a person. I get a little upset that it didn't demolish me as a person.
He likes to get torn down so he can build himself back up.
He's
Yeah.
so strong.
I mean, this is just the only time I feel stuff is when I watch movies.
Well, that got weird. Do you want to talk about any of the other things that you could possibly talk about in this movie?
Yeah. So Nathan was starting to get onto a point earlier where he asked you if you read the Darth Vader comic.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And at the end of that comic, you see Sidious basically manipulating the midi-chlorians in Shmi's womb to
Oh, yeah.
turn Anakin into his child. Okay. And this has been canon for about a year now. And Lucas
December
didn't
2018.
say shit about it. And there's been plenty of articles on the internet about the Emperor being Anakin's dad,
Mhm.
essentially, right? And Lucas Group hasn't said shit about it. Nothing. Not a word. And then Rise of Skywalker comes out, where Kylo and Rey share a kiss, which, if Palpatine is Anakin's dad, that makes that kiss incestuous. Earlier this week, Lucas Group came out and said, no, that's not how anyone was supposed to take that comic. That's not Anakin's. He's not Anakin's dad. We're decanonizing that. It was
No, it wasn't
supposed to
even
be-
that. It was supposed to be like that vision wasn't a direct vision of what happened.
Yeah,
It was an interpretation of the Emperor's like influence over his life later in his life.
Yeah. So
I like the other way back.
theorize.
Yeah, right.
I theorize.
Why don't we start with incest, we end with incest?
Yeah, right?
basically.
That's a bumper sticker.
And then I've also managed to bring it up on every other episode of this. So.
Well, I don't know what the big damn deal is. They did it in the first trilogy.
Yeah, I mean,
They
and
did
they
it
were
in
like,
Game of Thrones.
distant
It's pretty
cousins.
much popular now.
yeah,
in
just
a
get on.
weird
I wouldn't go
fucking
that
way.
Just get on Pornhub. It's totally popular. But
Studies show that most
oh no,
of step siblings on Pornhub are not actually step siblings.
I want to point out A, most, ew. B, that's an Onion article. So let's go ahead and say all.
2 or 3. That's disappointing. I mean, it's fucked up.
Son of a bitch. But yeah, I mean, like that. It was interesting timing on that article, like on that press release. Like, it's not incest. We're not gonna say that it's not incest, but we're gonna deny the part that makes it incest.
Yep.
What?
Trying to get ahead of it.
What a weird thing to do, and then try to backtrack.
But
Yeah.
incest or not, regardless, I really enjoyed all of Rey and Kylo's interactions throughout this movie, and I super enjoyed how they were figuring out how to pass things back and forth when they weren't in the same location. And that led to like what is one of my favorite moments in the movie. Like visually, one of my favorite moments, watching her like bring the lightsaber behind her head, and then Kylo bringing it around and then whooping everyone's ass. Like,
bringing it out and then shrugging.
Yeah,
and then whooping everyone's ass.
That shrug is the cherry on top.
I pulled it out of my ass. What are you gonna do? You're gonna die.
I was actually excited too to finally see like the Knights of Ren.
Yeah.
I'm like, where are these guys?
So the Knights of Ren were kind of cool, and then the coolest part I thought with them was when Kylo beats all their asses.
Oh yeah,
or Ben. Well, my bad. He's Ben at that point.
He's Ben.
Let's do it right.
But he had no weapon, and they're just kicking the shit out of him.
Yeah,
and then it's like, oh,
now I've got a lightsaber, bitch.
That helmet though, like Kylo's helmet.
Yeah,
like,
it's kind of goofy
with all the You didn't like that?
I super like
broken
that.
look helmet.
So,
I fucking loved it.
That was inspired by the way the Japanese put pottery back together.
Yes.
Okay.
With super glue?
No, with gold. They break.
Oh yeah,
they
I've
break
seen
gold
this,
up and then
obviously
they
on
put it
Facebook videos
with like some adhesive, and then they put pottery back together, and you like see all the cracks sparkle.
I mean, I loved it. I thought it was fucking cool.
Yeah,
meh.
I really liked it.
Shane, I'm not impressed by anything.
Now he has been pretty positive on this movie.
I know.
Right.
I've been waiting for him to dump on something. So if it's dumping in a helmet, that's fine.
At least it'll be contained.
That one particular shot where Ben shows up on Exegol and Rey has already been there, so the X-Wing's parked, and it's like 2 seconds. It's like a 2-second shot of the X-Wing, and he was in a TIE fighter, right?
Yeah.
And the X-Wing and the TIE fighter sitting there. Like, I want that to be my background.
Was that
on my
his
computer.
the TIE silencer?
No, because she burned his.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember which way that went.
Basically, he would have had to go find a random TIE fighter on that destroyed Death Star to get there.
There was one part about Ben coming back to Exegol that I didn't like.
Okay.
When he like runs and jumps onto that chain.
Yeah.
And he's like, ow. I was like, what the fuck?
He's just that badass. I ain't trying to hear it.
I was like, all right. Yeah, he's there. Ow. What?
All right. Let's break it down.
Oh my God.
So, in 7, he gets wounded and he gets mad and he punches himself in the side, which is a scene that Nathan and I both enjoyed and Shane hated.
I fucking love that scene so much.
But he's a bad guy at that time.
Uh-huh. No,
So
I get
then,
where you're going.
Now we get to 9.
Yeah.
And he accidentally hurts himself jumping onto the fucking 30-foot round chain, and he just goes, ow.
Uh-huh.
Because he's better suited to deal with that kind of pain now.
Sure.
You have not changed his mind.
Nope.
I really liked that. I thought it was like I don't like humor in super tense scenes, but I felt like
That's
like
exactly
that,
what that
I
was.
know, but that fucking killed me. Like I loved it.
I mean, I didn't hate that. It wasn't like, oh, I'm taking 0.5 off my score for this movie because of ow.
Just a 0.1.
No, I mean, it's just,
okay.
I didn't like it.
Okay.
Wait,
It's like
you
a
can not
turn-
like something and not deduct it from the overall score of the movie?
Yeah, I mean, that's like if there's like a dialogue part where you're like, oh, that's not how it was said that.
Yeah, okay. I was just curious.
You know, it wasn't that big a deal to me.
Right.
It was just like, what?
Okay.
All right, moving on. Was that all your points then?
So then,
Oh, Jesus.
Then in the 3rd grade.
So then, when Poe becomes general and he rushes over to Finn,
Oh, yeah.
and I wish I could remember the dialogue. I can't remember.
Oh,
exactly how
he's
the
like,
dialogue
he
is.
like comes over and he's like, and Finn's like, hey, I got to talk to you about something. He's like, hold on, I got to tell you something first. Like, okay. He's like, I can't do this without you in command with me. And he's like, oh, that's cool. Thanks, General. And he's like, no problem, General.
Yeah. I fucking love that scene. That's like my favorite Finn Poe moment, probably out of all 3 movies. That's my favorite moment with them.
I like
It
that.
was good. It was funny. In an appropriate time.
Yeah.
He went from being a stormtrooper janitor to a general.
In the resistance, sorry.
Don't say rebellion. I almost said
Yeah,
republic.
don't say Republic.
Don't say
'cause
Republic
their asses
either,
got
yeah.
incinerated.
Yeah.
All right,
Also, like-
let's. What? Nope.
No.
You got more? Just.
I also liked finding out that Poe used to be a spice runner.
Oh yeah.
I thought that was cool,
Yeah.
and then all of the jokes in there. So talking about the humor, like all of the jokes in there were great because then Finn's like, "You were a spice runner," and he's like, "You were a part of the Empire," and
Yeah.
Ray's like, "Guys, shut up!" And
We could
he's
do
like,
this forever.
Were you a scavenger?
I did enjoy Empress Palpatine on like the Death Star when she like goes in there
Hmm.
and then like sees herself evil. I was like, nah, that's fucking cool.
Yeah,
That like
That was
little
good, too.
snippet. I was like,
Right.
I dig that.
I only got half of it because I was like, oh, she's climbing. I got time to go pee. And then I came back and it was like lightsaber battle. What the fuck?
Just you got to wear a depends.
Dude, that battle between her and Kylo there was badass.
Oh yeah.
Like,
I didn't want her to drop Kylo.
Yeah.
Like I was so afraid she was gonna drop Kylo right there. I was like, no, not
Yeah.
too soon.
Yeah.
yeah, that
Because
the
we all wanted
choreography.
Ben. Everyone wanted Ben.
Yeah. I would have that would have ruined the entire trilogy. Like I was trying to give it the chance, and the trailer made me excited to see 9 because I was like, you can fix all of the things. You can
Yep.
literally fix everything if you do this movie right. And then when she stabbed Kylo, I was like, oh no, you have ruined everything. And then she heals him, and I was like, and then the whole scene with him and Han, because I love a good redemption story. I'm a sucker
Yeah.
for it. And that's the whole trilogy is like, yeah, Rey's super powerful and she's like coming into power and she's gonna save the universe. But like the whole story of the 3 movies is
Ben's redemption.
Ben's redemption story.
Yeah.
Well, and you talked about it earlier with Rey and Luke, that whole interaction, but just that one throwaway line where he was like, I made a mistake.
Yeah.
That was, hey, did you hate 8? Here you go. Here's your line.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought the meta commentary in this wasn't as in your face as 8. Whereas like 8, it was literally like, let the past die, like get over it, fucking pussies. And this was much better having that subtle commentary underneath it than what 8 was.
I just realized no Bens live in movies. Uncle Ben died. Ben Solo died. Benjamin Button dies. It's just not good to be named Ben in a movie.
Okay.
Let that sink in.
Ben-Hur? I don't know.
Are there other bins?
There's literally dozens.
Yeah.
They all die in movies.
Anyway, can we get to ratings now? Has anybody got anything else?
Chad?
I got nothing.
All right. I'm going to go first. I'm
Do
going to give this movie... What?
Do it.
Oh.
It wasn't me.
It was me. It's trying to do
Son
the
of a
Emperor thing.
bitch.
Do it.
Do it. Do it.
Fine, do it.
Now I'm going to try. Hold on.
Do it.
No, that was horrible.
I
Do it, yes.
That's much better.
Thank you.
Sounds like Yoda needs to come on the Crimson Ring.
Yes.
can't do Yoda, so obviously we're gonna have to get him to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I can
that
do
was
We
Chewie.
could do Anakin. Like, yeah. Do it! Yeah, or some shit like that.
That
Wait,
was not in it. That was
wait.
horrible.
Wait, time out.
I hate sand. Just do it.
Yes! Fucking love it. Do your Luke.
Okay. That was
your
pretty
whiny
good.
ass Luke.
Oh my God.
Ooh.
But Uncle Owen.
Uncle Owen. I want to go to Tashi Station.
She kills me.
I can do Chewy, but it'd be way too loud.
Just back off the
Just
mic.
back up.
Yeah.
Just back up. Yeah. All right. I'm gonna give this movie an 8.5. I really like this movie. Like, this movie single-handedly made the other two movies not dog shit, in my opinion. Because, like, there are definitely redeeming qualities of those movies on their own, but in general, I didn't like either of them. So this movie made the other two movies both make sense and be better. So that makes this movie fucking really good.
Okay.
So I'm gonna give it an 8.5. Russell?
All right. So that means we're gonna like watch all three in a row in one night, and then like do an episode where we've watched. No,
Not until next fucking December. I'm done with Star Wars for a minute.
How dare you?
What are you talking about?
For
We're
a
moving
minute.
on.
We still
We're
got
moving on
Rogue
to
One and
something
Solo to do.
Uh-huh.
else. Sure.
Where's my copy?
Hey, I know where that's at.
Wait, time out. You don't need your copy yet. Other people have ratings.
I'm not using it yet. I'm just like fucking with him while he's about to do his rating.
All right. So I'm going to rate this a 8.75 because I feel like I liked it more than Shane.
You've seen it twice. Unfair.
I did see it twice. And you know what? This is the first Star Wars movie Yeah, okay. So this Star Wars movie is the only Star Wars movie I've ever watched and immediately wanted to watch again. There's not been another one. Like not even 4,
I
5
could go
and
watch it again.
6,
I'll tell you that.
1, 2, and 3. I didn't watch Rogue One again until it came out on demand. Because we have to say that now instead of DVD because you watched it 2 weeks earlier. But yeah, so I wanted to watch it again because I was like, I thought I fanboyed so hard that I just couldn't see through the bullshit. And then watching it again, I was like, oh my fucking God, I do love it this much.
Yeah.
So yeah, 8.75.
Okay.
I just fuck, man. I don't know. I loved it.
I think it was really good.
Yeah. And my like bitches are like, whatever, I'll
minor.
get over them after I
Yeah.
watch it a 5th time.
Yeah, right.
So this is where I'm at. That's about all I got to say.
All right.
Oh, the pacing. I got to talk about that real quick.
Okay.
I have to piss.
The pacing
I
of this
have to pee
podcast
so bad.
is real
Hand me
slow.
your cup. Hand me your cup.
It's not empty.
Here, pee on this.
No.
So I thought the movie was actually paced really well.
Yeah.
And I wanted to mention this because in the Return of the Jedi podcast, we bitched about the pacing quite a bit.
Oh, yeah.
And there are a lot of paralleled scenes between this and Return of the Jedi.
Yep.
I don't feel like it was as much as The Force Awakens was to A New
No.
Hope.
Definitely not.
But I feel like they fixed all of the pacing issues with Return of the Jedi and like did this really fucking well.
So, to talk about that for a second.
You know what? Fuck it. It's a 9.
Okay.
Ooh.
I think they did a very similar thing with this as they did with 7, as far as like doing a big remake of
Yeah.
Return of the Jedi, but at the same time they didn't do it like, okay, they're on a desert planet, so they're on a desert planet too.
Yeah.
And they talk to this guy and they talk to this guy too, and so on and so forth, where it's like so painfully obvious that it's the same
Right.
thing. Where like this, it was like, okay, the setting is a little different, the characters are a little different, the shots are a little different, but it's like the same kind of situation.
Mhm.
And in the kind of the same order, and like similar things happen. And, you know, they obviously didn't cut back and forth to Rey getting tempted by the Emperor 25 times before
Right.
she
Right.
picked up her lightsaber like they did in fucking Return, which is probably like my least favorite part of that movie other than Ewoks.
Yeah.
But
I
like
love you, my furry friends.
at least one of us does. But like, you know, they did a similar thing, but they did it way better than they did
Yeah.
in Force Awakens.
And I think my favorite paralleled scene is so in Return of the Jedi, you have the Emperor like having Luke look out the window.
Yeah.
Right, and you can kind of see what's going on out the window,
Right.
but like not really.
Yeah.
But like clearly there's space battle, and then in this one, like
He like opens the pyramid thing.
yeah,
And it's like, oh shit, we're gonna get hit by a ship falling out of the sky.
yeah,
Yeah.
That was
and there's
awesome.
just there's like no hope in the movie until there's absolute hope,
Right.
and that's also why I liked it so much because how dark it was, and this was I've bitched about wanting each Star Wars movie to be darker than what it actually was. And
This was it.
This was it. Like,
This was the dark city of Star Wars
yes,
movies.
This Star Wars movie, if it wasn't for anyone else, was for fucking me.
Yeah.
That's what every nerd always says. This one's for me.
Yeah.
All right, Chad. What do you got?
I really, really love this movie. Like we said earlier, there's not a lot we could do with Carrie.
Yeah.
I mean, that's probably my biggest complaint in the movie. You know, R.I.P. I miss you, Carrie.
Yeah.
But the comedy was in the right spots.
Mm-hmm.
The movie was super, super dark. I loved it. I love that. I mean, it's the Skywalker Saga, but when you really think about it, it was 9 movies about the rise and fall of Palpatine. Like,
Yeah.
I absolutely loved that. I have to give this movie and not just to outdo it. I'm saying like a 9.2. Like, part of me wants to say 9.5, but I know you guys have talked about this before. You go and see a movie, you watch it 2 or 3 times, then maybe let's give it an 8.8.
Yeah,
but I kind of agree with Russell. I saw that movie and instantly wanted to get back in line.
Yeah.
It was that good. I mean, 2.5 hours of just pure awesomeness. And I love that they focused on Rey and Ben, where in 8, they were all over the place.
Yeah.
So I have to give it a 9.2. It was just fantastic.
Yeah.
I loved
it. It
it.
was really good. All right, Nathan, what do we got going on? What do you think?
I like the movie.
Okay.
I mean, I really like the movie. I feel like it tied the whole trilogy. I'm not going to say the whole saga because I really think it goes in like 3 trilogies, obviously. As far as that story goes and closing out, I liked it. I wanted her to be a gray Jedi at the end. Don't know if I got that or not.
Yeah.
We really don't know. I'm just going to assume not. But as far as a rating goes, I'm going to give this one 0 Pauls.
Who's Paul? I'm just going to look around.
Not important.
All right.
There were no maple leaves used in the making of this production of this podcast.
Or Georgia peaches.
That too.
Are Georgia peaches not made in Georgia? Nope, never mind. I got it. I was late to the party.
Jesus Christ. Oh, wow.
I really like the movie, so yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Interpret that to whatever number you want to.
Yeah. That's
I'm going to say it was a 9.1, so I loved it more.
Okay. You can interpret it however you want. He just said that.
Yes.
Fuck it. That works. I just like taking shots. Okay.
Yeah, I know. It's good. All right. So we're going to go over some plugs before we call this one. You can get a hold of us on Twitter and Instagram at DraftyQ, YouTube, Drafty Quarters Podcast Network. Find us on Facebook, Drafty Quarters Productions. You can become a patron on Patreon by searching Drafty Quarters Productions. Right now, we've got some Gospel of Winchester up. Do we have any watch-alongs up yet?
Nope.
No.
Crimson Ring just put up their first watch along on our network. So
the
first one's
preview.
free.
It
We're
was a
gonna-
Christmas present.
Preview episode of the watch-alongs. I imagine in January we're going to start putting some up on Patreon.
Nathan, you want to tell them what episode they need to, or what match they need to pull up?
It was a Royal Rumble, I think, in 2001.
Okay.
And it was Chris Jericho versus Chris Benoit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was a really good
The
match.
ladder match?
Fuck. Don't ask me that right now. because I don't fucking remember.
Is it the ladder match where he puts him in the walls of Jericho on top of the ladder?
And it was for the Intercontinental title. It was
a
super
great
good.
match.
It was the first one we actually recorded.
Awesome.
We wanted to kick off the watch-alongs with two wrestlers that were absolutely amazing with each other.
Oh, yeah.
So I want to clarify what watch along actually means to us, because watch along to a lot of people just means that we watch something and you can listen to it. But what Doug and Nathan actually did was they watched the match and recorded alternate commentary for you to listen to. So you would queue up the match and hit play when they tell you to hit play, and then you can listen to them give you commentary instead of...
So kind of like riff tracks a little?
Yeah.
kind of,
Yep.
but with wrestling.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, it should be interesting. I'm looking forward to doing that. Some of the other characters on our podcast network have their own Twitter handles. You can get a hold of the Crimson Ring at Crimson Ring Pod. Drafty Dames have at Drafty Dames. Nathan has at Big Smooth _ DQP, and Doug has at DQP Squirrely D. That's gonna do it for this episode of DQP Does, where we finished out the Skywalker Saga of Star Wars. Coming up, we're gonna be doing the last two movies. Full movies that are out for Star Wars. We're going to do Rogue One and Solo. And then we're going to start some different stuff. I think we've talked about doing some Kevin Smith movies. So that's going to be coming in January. And then after that, I'm not sure where we're going. So that's going to do it for this episode of DQP Does. And may the Force be with you always. Directional, so like if you're head on with it, like you're approaching it like a nice gentleman would,
Right.
and you get over
You
to
cup the
side,
balls. Gotcha.
or you're off a little bit,
Hey, I'm going over
or if
here.
you're too far back, which I like to do this a lot, and then come up to the mic.
Are we recording?
I don't know, probably,
She will look like that till she's 67.
and then she'll grow facial
Turn into
hair.
a turtle.
I would like to
Put it in the outtakes.
We had contractors in the last week before our winter break, and we went in there looking for something because somebody had lost a dongle for a program or something, and they thought they dropped it maybe in the bathroom. So I went in the bathroom looking for it, and I found one of the fucking toilet seats was just busted in half. Like, who did that? Nobody knows who did it, so it had to have been a contractor or a fucking like UPS guy using the shitter. Just broke the toilet seat in half.
In half?
Wow.
Yeah, just like snapped one of the sides of the toilet seat off.
Dude, in
Yeah.
ship. In
What
ship.
kind of shit was that guy taking?
And he's like fucking like holding.
Ah!
Yeah.
Oh my
I don't
god.
know.
Yeah, in shipping, you would get some of the truckers come in and use it, and there would be shit on the wall. You're like, what are you doing?
How?
How do you I've
Was it
never
like
just
sides?
accidentally
Like,
been
was
like,
he
oops.
pulling his pants down and just peppering the back of the toilet?
No, it was on the side wall.
He was-
It wasn't even...
Okay, he was pants turning and just like,
I don't know.
All the gas station truck stop food.
Had some gas station curry.
Mm.
Ugh.
dude, the gas station in Lebanon sells hard boiled eggs, and I'm like,
No!
hard pass.
No!
Gosh.
Bro, that's how you get the super worms.
This has been a production of the Drafty Quarters Podcast Network.